Hello, amazing parents and caretakers, and welcome to the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. I'm your family empowerment coach, Celia Kibler. I'm a mom of a blended family of 5 kids. I'm a grandma of 9 kids, an author, a teacher, a speaker, and a consultant with over 40 years of training and real-life parenting experience. I'm here to offer you practical, doable tips, strategies, and techniques that will pump up your parenting skills and create peace, love, and laughter throughout your family. In addition, I'll be interviewing some great humans that are on a mission to make your life a better, happier, and healthier life. So let's not waste any time and get started with the next episode of the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. Thanks for listening. Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great morning, great start to your day. We're talking about when your kids talk back to you or whine or just plain rude. What can you do? Because you can do something. You don't have to just accept it. We want our kids to be respectful. We don't want them to be disrespectful, barking orders at us, talking rude to us or other people. Because once we give our children permission to speak rudely to us, we are actually giving them permission to speak rudely to other people. We're allowing the behavior. And in order to stop them from being a disrespectful person, we have to curb that behavior. And if this is going to help you, it will certainly help a friend of yours, so share it on. Before we get started, let me just tell you who I am. I'm Celia Kibler, family and relationship empowerment coach, award-winning, best-selling author of Raising Happy Toddlers, How to Build Great Parenting Skills and Stop Yelling at Your Kids, also available in Spanish, and 3 great children's books. I'm the founder of Fun Fit Family Fitness, Pumped Up Parenting, and the Day of Calm Foundation, and the International Day of Calm. And if you don't know me too well, then let me tell you, I am on a mission to help 10 million parents stop yelling at their kids. I do that through my private coaching and my group coaching. If you want to reach out, if you need some help with your journey, reach out to me. You can get an SOS call. You can go to talkwithcelia.com for just 1 hour of private time. We'll get to talk about and solve what your issue is. But let's talk about this talking back thing, this disrespectful communication. First of all, I want you to realize that you also have to be a role model of respectful communication. If you are speaking disrespectfully, if you never use your manners, if you're barking orders all the time, and you're not being considerate of whoever you're talking to, they're learning from you. So if you are yelling at them, or you are like, come on, let's go, and you are barking orders and you are not speaking kindly with a smile on your face or using your manners, you are teaching them to talk that way. Keep in mind that when we're born, we are born with the ability to communicate, but we are not born with language. So that means basically we can wave, we can move, we can grunt, we can cry, we can do all of those things at birth to communicate our needs. We cannot speak words. We cannot speak language, which is why any child can basically learn any language. So whatever language you speak, that child can learn. Doesn't matter what it is. But that also means that any words you speak, if you're cussing, if you're screaming, if you're barking orders, if you're being demanding and moody, your child will also learn that. We are not born knowing how to cuss. Somebody has to teach us. We are not born knowing how to use our manners. Someone has to teach us, and that someone is you. So number 1, you have to be a good role model of calm, respectful communication. Think of how you talk to one of your great friends. Do you talk disrespectfully to them or do you speak kindly? Hopefully, you speak kindly to them, and that's why they're good friends of yours, and you do the same for your kids, okay? Now, does that mean we cannot be we cannot speak firmly when we need something done? Yes, of course, we can speak firmly. If the kids aren't listening and there's something we need done and we need to get their attention, you can speak firmly to them, helping them to realize you are serious about whatever it is you're talking to. But you don't need to yell, and it should not be your everyday conversation. Most of your conversations should be friendly, respectful, manners, smiles, all of that. Calm. That's how you teach them to do the same. Okay. What do you do? What about in a divorced home if kids are learning from the other parent? Okay. One thing you have to remember about divorce, and for those of you that don't know, I have been parenting a blended family successfully for over 29 years. You have to be concerned with the behaviors in your home. That's all you have control over. Please understand that we only have control over us. We don't have control over what goes on around us. We don't have control over the other people, only us and our behaviors. To the point of when your children walk up to you and say, Mom or Dad, I'm bored, it's not your responsibility to entertain your kids 24/7. When my grandkids come up and say, Grandma, I'm bored, they don't even ask me anymore because they know what the answer is. And the answer is, honey, who's making you bored? And they're like, I am. Yes, the only person that can make you bored is you. So you have to realize that your control lies within yourself. Unfortunately, does not lie with that other parent that you're divorced from. Does not lie with anything inside their home because you're not there. They can say whatever they want to say. Yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go along with it. I'm going to do all this. And then they go back to their house and they do whatever they want to do. So unfortunately, you have no control there, but you have all the control on what goes on in your home. So you have to be the example. You have to be the person you want to be so that your children grow up being the type of person you want them to be. Yes, they're going to learn things in the other home you don't want them to. Yes, they're going to learn things at school and out in life. But you have to plant all those good qualities and good beliefs and good values into your children so that when they go to another home in a divorce situation, or they go to school, or they go to a job, that they are in control of them, and those qualities, those values that you planted in them stay within them, and they know right from wrong in any given situation. So I hope that helped. Be concerned with you and your home. Okay. What do you do though when your child barks orders at you? What do you do when they're rude to you? So you don't allow it. So, okay, that's easier said than done, right? I know what you're thinking. What do you mean I don't allow it? They're barking orders at you. They're yelling at you. They're being demanding, whatever that is. How do you not allow it? So you not allow it by not engaging in conversation. So if your child comes up and they're speaking rudely to you or they're barking an order to you, there are two responses. One is, try that again, please. The other is no response. And you should tell your kids that it together. So have a little meeting with your children and say, look, we're going to all try, make it a family issue. We're going to all try to speak more respectfully to each other, all of us. So because of that, if you guys come up to me and you speak rudely or you bark an order at me, I'm going to give you two responses and two responses only. One is, try that again, please. Or I may not respond at all because you know that you have to talk nice to me or I'm not responding. As soon as you engage in conversation, as soon as your child says, I don't want to do that. And you're like, I don't really like the way you're talking to me. Well, you need to speak kinder. you tell me a little bit more about what the problem is and speak nicer, and you get into this whole elaborate conversation, you just gave your child permission to talk to you that way because you engaged in conversation with them. By simply stating, try that again, or giving no response, they understand they have to talk to you in a different way. Do not engage in conversation. Do not get irritated at them. Do not do all this elaborate responding and explanation because you're merely giving them permission to talk to you. So it is really important that you just do not continue conversation. I know you want to. I know you want to say, why are you talking to me like that? You have no business talking to me like that. I get that. But then you're allowing the conversation. Even if they say, you say, try that again, and they come back and they bark an order at you, done the conversation. Be done with it. First time, try that again, please. Second time, go on with your life. They realize they will know because you told them that you're not going to engage. So they have to talk to you kindly. Same if you have a little one that's whining. If you always engage in conversation and they're like, Mommy, I need a drink. And you're like, okay, honey, here's a drink. Don't give them coffee. Here's a drink. You just gave them permission to speak to you that way. As opposed to, Mommy, I need a drink. And you say, honey, I need you to try that again, please. Even for a toddler, let's practice how you can say it. And they're like, try, I need a drink. Then you can offer manners, say please, or they say no, correct them and say no, thank you, so that they learn to say no, thank you. No, thank you sounds much kinder than no. But every time you respond and you give in what they want, or you laugh at them, or you treat it as conversation, you are giving them permission to keep speaking to you in that manner. So I hope this is helping. If you want to talk to me privately, if you really are struggling with a lot of this, and I'm sure other things as well, go to talkwithcelia.com, set up an SOS call. Let's get it solved. Because here's the thing. If you allow this behavior, if you allow this disrespectful conversation, even when your child is a toddler, they will continue down that path. How many kids do you know that are 8, 10, 16 that whine all the time? That's because they never learned not to. And when they whined as a little kid, they got their way. How many teenagers do you know that are very demanding and moody to their parents? And their parents say, well, teenagers will be teenagers. They don't have to be. They can also be respectful humans. If they talk a certain way to their friends, they don't talk that way to you as an adult, and don't let them. They need to learn respect for authority. Does that mean they can't question authority? Absolutely not. Can always question authority, and you want your child to continue to. The difference is respect. What is the difference between talking back and talking up? When you talk back is disrespectful. Always. This is the main difference. When you speak up, you want to voice an opinion. You want to ask a question. If you're doing it respectfully, then please do. Please voice your opinion. Please ask questions. That's how people feel valued. That's how your children will feel valued. Your children will feel seen and heard. And your teenager won't be going like, you know why I don't talk to anyone in my family? Because they care less about what I have to say. That's why teens disconnect from families. So encourage them to speak up. Encourage them. If you put something into place, encourage them to offer another solution if that solution's not working. But it all is done respectfully. And you, as their ultimate role model and teacher of communication, have to also be respectful and speak respectfully. You have to be the example. If you are moody, if you are irritable all the time, if you're barking orders, your children will too. I have parents ask me, how do I raise well-mannered children? And I respond back, do you use your manners? And people will say, well, sometimes. And then I'll say, well, then your children will use their manners sometimes as well. How would you say get them to speak up? Okay, I think, and I'm not positive if I'm interpreting correctly, but I think you're asking how do you encourage your children to speak and have conversation and be willing to voice their opinions? Number one, questions. The person that's asking the questions is creating conversation. So if you want your child to offer their opinions, ask them, honey, this is what I was thinking we could do on Saturday. What do you think? Do you want to do that? Or are you thinking about doing something else? What would you like to do? Even consequences. Okay, you're not giving back your tablet. You're not getting off your tablet when I ask you to. So my thought is, if that happens, I'm going to take your tablet away for 24 hours. What do you think of that consequence? You can actually ask them, because I'm telling you, kids will come up with a much harder consequence than you. Or instead of offering a consequence, say, you're not getting off your tablet when I asked you to. There has to be a consequence. What do you think your consequence should be? Ask them, get their opinion. And then as far as consequences go, if they come up with a good consequence, put it into place. You should take my tablet away for 2 days. Okay, we're going with that. You don't get off your tablet, you are going to lose your tablet for 2 days. Now they even have skin in the game because they gave you permission to have that consequence. So now it doesn't require yelling. They don't get off their tablet when you ask, you take it for 2 days. Done. No yelling necessary. And guys, if you're interested in really setting up a strategy in place in your homes, a systematic approach to parenting so you're not flying by the seat of your pants, I released a great course, 21 Days to Stop Yelling. And what it does is in 21 days, it puts a parenting system into your home. As parents, we all have those moments. The pressure builds up, the noise gets too much, and before we know it, we're raising our voices higher than we ever intended. But what if there was a better way? Introducing 21 Days to Stop Yelling at Your Kids, a revolutionary program designed to help you communicate with your children without yelling. Imagine a home filled with understanding and respect, where your words have impact without the need to raise your voice. Created through my over 40 years of experience, this course offers you practical, easy to implement strategies that work in real life. You'll learn through interactive lessons, engaging exercises, and a supportive community. No judgments, just guidance. Because being a parent doesn't have to mean you're perfect. It's about growing and it's about becoming intentional. In just 21 days, life will be calmer and more harmonious. What if you don't get the course? Where will you be in 21 days? Still feeling like a bad parent? I encourage you to join the millions of parents that I have helped who have found a new path to communication and connection. Visit quityelling.com to enroll in the 21 Days to Stop Yelling course today. And for our podcast listeners, use the code PODCAST for a 60% discount. Quityelling.com, because love speaks so much louder than yelling. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Puts it in place. You get the whole system in 21 days and super reasonably priced. But you got to put in the coupon code podcast. Go to quityelling.com. Under $50, guys. I think it'll bring it down to $47. Quityelling.com, coupon code podcast. Do it now. Imagine what your life's going to be like 21 days from now. It can be more of the same, or it can have huge intentional changes in place in your home. Quityelling.com, coupon code podcast. Okay. Telling you, you won't be sorry. And you'll be like, thank goodness I decided to do this. Okay. Things you need to put into place. You need to be the role model. You need to be the person that is the example for speaking respectfully, for not being demanding all the time, for not being in one level of your house, another yelling house, and screaming up to your kids. Go up there and talk to them. Go up there, talk to your child, because they're going to mimic you. You need to be the person that is not on your phone all the time if you don't want them on their screens all the time. What happens if they didn't stop nagging or whining about them? They lose the iPad. Take the iPad, if that's what you decide to do. Take the iPad for 2 days. They don't get it. Guys, you have to be consistent. If there's a consequence in place and they lose their iPad, they can moan and complain all they want. Sorry, no iPad. Next time, get off your iPad when I asked you to. You don't give in to the moaning and complaining. Let them go moan and complain. If you're going to complain, go into your room and complain, because I don't want to hear it. Do not run your family around them being moody, them throwing a tantrum, them complaining. You're the boss of your family. If there's a consequence in place, it follows through. If there's encouragement, that you encourage your kids to cooperate, that has to stay consistent. Kids have to feel like they're doing good when they're doing good. You have to let them know. I'm telling you guys, it is such a big change to have a system in place in your home, so you know what to do. So you're not wondering, well, I told them they didn't get their iPad, but I'm sick of hearing them complain. So here, you get it back. You know what you just did? You just made them know for a fact that your threats mean nothing. If you threaten a consequence, it means nothing, because it's not going to get followed through. So they can pretty much do whatever they want. Limits, boundaries, consequences, encouragement. This is what helps a child to be cooperative, to be respectful, to want to help out, to want to do what's right. Children ultimately want to make you proud. I know it sometimes doesn't seem that way, but they really want to make you proud. So when they do, you have to let them know, honey, thank you so much for getting off your tablet and coming to dinner when I asked. I really appreciate it. But there are so many other scenarios and so many other things you can do to increase encouragement, to increase cooperation, to increase listening. If you are always giving them and threatening them with things that are going to happen, you will have a very dysfunctional family. And I can't impress upon you enough. You need to put a system in place. Your children are growing up very fast. We are raising adults, not children. So if your child doesn't know how to deal with disappointment, always throws a tantrum every time you say no, you are going to raise a miserable adult who also can't deal with disappointment. If you are always trying to make your child happy, giving into their every whim, that's what spoils a child, not love. That's what creates an entitled, moody, demanding child, is you giving into their every whim. What kind of person do you want your child to be? Write down the qualities you want. You need to be that person, and you need to have a system in place that creates that family harmony, not chaos, not unpredictability. You may not know what your kids are going to do. They should always know what you're going to do, because you're consistent and you are a person of integrity. And what you say, you do. You don't threaten, you follow through. And guys, I'm telling you, if you need help, you want to put a system in place in your home, you have two choices. You can work with me privately or in my group, and that gives you consistent accountability. Or if you want to try doing it on your own, then get my course, quityelling.com, 21 days. What's 21 days from now? What if 21 days you had some family harmony? You had cooperation. Yes, we have to create structure and also allow them. Absolutely. They have to hold themselves accountable just like you have to hold yourself accountable. And then you know what happens when you have great structure and harmony in the home? You hold each other accountable. You agree on things and hold each other accountable. It's wonderful not being miserable every day. It's wonderful not having the chaos and stress every day. It is simply wonderful to be smiling and happy and your kids cooperating day after day. What if that could be your life? It won't be your life if you don't do anything to make it your life. If you're flying by the seat of your pants, if you're just doing what your parents did, if they spent all their time yelling and screaming at you, and now you're spending all your time yelling and screaming at your kids, did you like that? No one likes to be screamed at. I had somebody comment, well, my child actually likes to be screamed at. My child likes to be screamed at, and that's how they do what I ask them to do. No one likes to be screamed at. Why? It's disrespectful. And you're only teaching them to scream at someone else, probably you. You're teaching them that behavior. They might say they like it, they don't. The reason they're only doing it because you're screaming is because now they're afraid of you and now they're taking you seriously. All the other times you asked, you weren't serious. You're training them. Okay, guys, I got to go, but I hope this helped. And really, I'm telling you, if you do nothing else today, go to quityelling.com, get started on a journey, coupon code podcast, and get started learning a better way. If what you know today, out of all your years of life, is not working, be willing to learn a better way. Yes, break the generational curse. Accountability games, awesome. Yes, teamwork. You're a family. You should be working as a team, not against each other. This is not a competition. And if you want to reach out to me and you really want to talk to me privately, go to talkwithcelia.com. It'll cost you a little bit of money, but it'll be the best money you've ever spent. And honestly, these two options are about the same investment. And really, what's it worth to create family harmony? What's it worth to lower your stress and chaos level of your home? What's it worth to you to stop yelling and to stop having your kids fight you all the way? What is that worth to you? Or you can go on day after day and keep doing the same and keep being frustrated and keep searching the internet for one tip. One tip is not going to solve the problem. You need a system. You didn't learn your career by learning one thing. You went to school. You learned how to do it. Whatever training you got, you learned how to do it. Learn how to make life full of happiness, joy, and cooperation in your home. Go to quityelling.com, put in the coupon code podcast. As always, I wish you guys days filled with peace, love, tons of laughter. Really is the best medicine. Don't forget to laugh. I'll see you around the web. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. If this episode was helpful to you, please share it with a friend and leave us a review that will help others. Wonder why kids don't come with a manual? Well, wonder no more, because I wrote you one, and it's just won a wonderful Mom's Choice Award. Go to celiasbooks.com and buy your copy of Raising Happy Toddlers, as well as my children's books. I appreciate you being part of my mission to help 10 million parents stop yelling at their kids. Please be intentional and hug on those kids of yours. See you at the next episode.